Tents and Trees is an unrushed, unhurried, cosy and relaxing puzzle game with lots of logic and a little bit of a spirit of Picross thrown into the mix. The idea behind this game is that you need to place tents next to trees in a nature-filled grid environment. Every tree has one tent and it needs to be placed horizontally or vertically to connect up to the tree. The numbers around the edge of the grid tell you how many tents that need to be placed in each row and column. There comes the Picross reference. But you need to be careful because tents can't touch each other and back onto each other horizontally, vertically or diagonally. So that means that every level only has one solution, but you've got your own time limit and your own brain and noggin to work out exactly what goes where. As you place things down, you can trigger various different hints that will either highlight where tents actually touch each other and you've not noticed, or something's in the wrong column, or even if you've got the right tents in the right columns but you've not quite laid it all down properly, it will start to flash something that's incorrectly coloured in. So it will help you understand where you've gone wrong and lead you towards the right solution. Maps start off on a 6x6 grid, but work their way up to a 20x20 grid, and they are mahoosive beasts to get right, particularly because after you've completed 75 levels, you unlock the missing numbers mode, which is where they start to remove that grid of numbers around the edge of everything to tell you how many tents should be in each row and column, which is where you really have to start scratching your head and planning things out in advance. This is where some of the additional quality of life features of Tents and Trees really come into their own too. One of the cool things here is that you can link a tree and a tent together with a little chain so you can remember which one you've planted or attached to where. And that's very helpful because sometimes trees come in like little mini batches and you've got to remember what's attached to what. But you can also then start to fill out the grid where you definitely know a tent can't be placed with grass. And that helps you visually see exactly what you've got left as you go along. If you know definitely there isn't going to be a tent in any columns or lines, then you can click onto the side and it'll auto fill in that row for you, which is very handy. And you can also bring in up to 3 other players alongside you for 4-player co-op, where you can try and solve puzzles together. It's still the same puzzle at the end of the day, but it's interesting to see that you can work together as a team and maybe take on a quarter of the level each, particularly in those 20x20s, and work your way towards the centre perhaps. The more levels you unlock or complete, you start to unlock different themes. There's a dark mode there. You've got daily challenges that will pop through with new levels, and they range from 6x6 up to 20x20s on easy, hard and no numbers mode. So it gives you a real plethora of stuff constantly being churned out all the time. And it makes Tents and Trees a really sizable, meaty logic puzzle game to get your teeth into, because there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of levels, and it's not one of those, and I particularly like them on Steam, but it's one of those like, hey, we've done 60 levels on a cute little gameplay mechanic, ta-da! But it ends as soon as it gets complicated. Tents and Trees is a full-fledged, blown-out experience that really takes a very simple logic gameplay mechanic and runs it through to the nth degree, constantly giving you new levels daily for you to play with. I really like this game. I really like the fact that it works on mouse and keyboard as well as controller. The co-op is nice, various different themes and achievements to unlock as well as you go through, trying to help you. If you do want to go like up against the clock, there's some achievements related to that, for example. Also, like completing levels without colouring in any grass or making any mistakes will also unlock for that too. But it just really clicked for me, and it's one of those relaxing games that you can dip in and out of for 5 minutes and just relax your mind and then move on to something else afterwards or go about your day. Tents and Trees will be out on the 24th of April, and I give it a hearty thumbs up. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.